Hi, brothers and sisters. I hope you're doing well today. My name is Pamela. If you've just stopped by my channel for the very first time, just wanted to come on and chat with you guys. It's been a very interesting, few days. And then I had a dream this morning that just isn't leaving me. So I'll share that with you guys as well to see if anybody can interpret dreams or, can get anything out of it. It's just sticking with me and it's not going nowhere. And usually when it does that, there's usually some kind of meaning. I'll write down different parts that I got from that. But so anyways, my husband on Friday said he wasn't feeling very well. He had a cold. He was coming down with a cold, and so I was just praying for him because my husband gets a cold every single year. It's the same cold. He's just got he's not like me. Like when I get a cold, I'm nonstop. Like I have tissue shoved in my nose. Like I walk around with tissue shoved in my nose because either my nose is real runny or it's like very congested and I just am uncomfortable. And so, he usually just, his nose will be running for like a day and then, his nose don't run. He's just miserable for a few days. And this is exactly what he has. But of course, now that, our new world is all about CV, everybody jumps to, you gotta go get a test, you gotta go to a test. So his work is more about, they didn't ask him how he was doing or anything. He's a little down about that. He's not happy with his work at all, but because they're a lot about money. But they just said, you need to go get tested because we have a job, for Friday, and it's one that, they're going to earn a lot of money from, and he's the only one that can do it because of his journeyman license and stuff, and so they really depended on him to be able to come back to work, so they made him go get tested and stuff like that, which we know is going to come back negative, and he's hoping that they stall it out, that the tests don't come back right away because he kind of feels, he still feels crummy. He's been doing really good. Usually when he's sick, he's grumpy, but he's been doing very well today. Yesterday he did pretty good. He was outside, got a lot of work done, and today he's like, man, I just feel bad. Yesterday I felt better. Today I'm just feeling crummy, so he was kind of grumpy today, and so I've just been trying to stay out of his way. So anyways, and then the weirdest thing happened. I know it's all spiritual and stuff like that. I put my armor on every single day, and my husband doesn't. He doesn't even get into his word every single day. I mean, he tries to. Like, he's been feeling bad, so he really hasn't gotten to it a whole lot. But me, I'm like, there's nothing that is going to come in between me getting up, getting my armor on. Physically, I told you guys, physically, I put my armor on before I even get out of bed because you already know how the devil works, and he's going to be on us. You can't give an inch. He will take a mile. So, like, I physically put my armor on before I even get out of bed, and then I ask the Lord to just direct my day. And then I'll notice sometimes allergies, whatever, will mess up in the morning, and I'll just, put it out there. Like, no weapon formed against me is going to prosper. Don't even mess with me, devil, because not today. So, but, my husband said he got a cold and whatever, so I automatically just, two things that help prevent colds, and because I did it past 2 years, I have not gotten a cold, is one, I take apple cider vinegar gummies, or the pills work, and two, I take zinc. So between zinc and apple cider vinegar gummies, the 1 year I didn't even have zinc, I just took apple cider vinegar gummies and didn't get the flu. So I stand by those. So as soon as I hear my husband saying, I don't have an itchy or scratchy throat, or, I feel like I'm coming down with something, I go and take that, and then stand on the Word of God. And I have never gotten a cold since I've been doing that. So I think the last time I got a cold, I used to get a cold every single year, and past couple of years I haven't been since I discovered apple cider vinegar gummies and then zinc. So I've been doing very well. Usually as well, so if you're, you get that same cold, and I imagine that'll even as well help for VD if anything's going around or whatever. Did I say VD? I meant CV. Anyways, so, um, the other day, there was another attack on my household. Keegan, I went and got him up from bed. It was the weirdest thing. He stood up, and as soon as he stood up, he like started vomiting, and he didn't have anything in the stomach, so it was just like a little bit of water. And he just did, was like, I was like, oh no, not another attack from the enemy. So I just laid hands on him right there, prayed for him, and I was like, okay, we're gonna see how this is gonna go, and took him downstairs. As soon as we got downstairs, it was like instantly healed. Instantly. Asked for apple juice, asked for cereal. He was running around. I mean, absolutely normal, like nothing. So I definitely always stand on prayer, lay hands on the sick, and they shall be healed. So definitely do that. I did also go, I gave him a cereal, and I gave him his juice, and then I anointed him with oil, and then I anointed Bree with oil, so the same thing. Doesn't end up happening to her. I know it has to be an attack, because it was instantly gone after prayer, so there's that. So we do have a little bit of spiritual warfare going on in my home. So I've been definitely staying in the Word and keeping my eyes on Jesus. So let me just go into real quick about my dream. And if you have anything to add to it, or the Holy Spirit speaks to you while I'm telling you, please share, because I'm really interested in knowing what in the world could possibly be going on. So, in my dream, I was on a vacation in a hotel. And the hotel was overlooking the mountains of Ararat. Ararat? Am I saying that? Ararat. But in my dream, I also mentioned Moses. So, I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that I was staying in this hotel, and it was like something I had planned. I don't know. It was definitely spiritual. But I was in a hotel, and out the window was the Ararat mountain. And I mentioned something about Moses, but I don't remember exactly what I said. And I was just explaining it to somebody, and the people I was explaining it to, which I don't even know if this has anything to do with the dream, but I'm just going to go ahead and share it just because it was in the dream, and who knows. So, because I was sharing something there was a guy in my dream, and I don't know who this guy is, and I don't know his name, but in my dream, apparently, we had dated for a short period of time, and I had sent him a text message of sort, and said something along the lines of, I thought we had something great. It was like something like he had like ghosted me or something. I don't know. And so I had messaged him. I don't know if it was like right before I went on my trip or as I was on my trip. I don't know. But I remember because this guy showed up at the hotel. So I'll tell you more about that in a second. But before this guy had got to the hotel, there was, you look out the window and it was like bombing. Like there was bombing going on all around where I was, all around this hotel. It was scary because it was like we were under attack. So that's another thing I don't know. So anyways, this guy shows up, and I'm in a different country, because if you guys know where the Ararat mountain is, that's over in, I don't even know, it's in a Arabian like country, and so like Iran or something like that, I don't know. But this guy shows up at the hotel, and he shows up with a lady, and she was like kind of like heavier set, dark curly hair. I didn't know her name or anything. Heck, I didn't even know his name. I just knew we dated for a short period of time, and I thought we had something special, and I messaged him because he had kind of just like ghosted me, which I know most of you guys know ghosted means just like stop calling, whatever. But this guy showed up out of the country at this hotel to come and see me. So I thought that was really weird, and I thought it was really weird that this guy's going to go out of the country to come and see me, but yet he brings a girlfriend. And just the way that he hugged me and I don't know, he made a statement like she doesn't care. Like, like she's just the kind of girlfriend that just really doesn't care. Like, she knew I was coming to see you, and she just really didn't care. So, I don't know if there's something spiritual about that, or I don't know. So if anybody gets anything, but I just thought the thing that kind of was interesting to me about that was the whole in a mountain. And this I know this hotel also had a restaurant in it. I don't really know if that means anything either. I don't know. So, but it's just not leaving with me. I'm like, why would I have a dream? And I haven't read about that. I haven't read about Moses. I haven't read about Noah's Ark in a few months since I was back. Not even, I don't know, maybe January, February, back when I was in Genesis. So it's been a while. It's been a while. But for some reason, this dream isn't leaving me. So, but then the dream switched. It was so weird. It was just weird. It switched. And then now that guy was now my best friend from back in the day, Bill. And Bill, I did write this down. I wrote, well, maybe I'll just tell you my notes afterwards. So Bill then was with this same lady that has, heavy set black curly hair, and it was his girlfriend. So it's weird, but we were no longer, I was no longer at that hotel. It seemed as though I was in this really big house. It was like maybe like a mansion type museum. I don't know. There was like different things in rooms and people can go through and tour it. And I was in something like that. And it seemed like more so we were in Michigan and we were down at, whatchamacallit, by Frankenmuth. And so, yeah, that seemed weird. So my friend in the dream comes to me and I was so weird because I wanted to talk with him and I couldn't because this girl was there. It was just so weird. So anyways, he comes to me and he has these 3 old-fashioned cell phones. And I mean like they're cell phones, not the ones that come with the bag, but they're ones that like they're big and bulky in your hand. I looked it up and it was called a super big luxury retro mobile phone. So if you're curious to know, it was like 3 of those and they were black. And he had one for each of us so that, if we all went our different ways or whatever, we'd be able to communicate and get a hold of each other. So that was weird. So then I went off my own way and I walked through this room, and in this room there was like a bunch of, it's like a bunch of puppies and it's like, how you go to a pet store that sells dogs and they're all in their own individual cage. It was like that. There was one dog that was like having puppies. It was so weird. And I walked through there and it was, I don't know. And I walked out of there and then I seen my friend Bill and he was by himself. So his girlfriend was off somewhere. And he had made the mention to me, which I had been friends with Bill since I was 17 years old and I'm 39. So we've been friends for a really long time. We never, he actually lived with me and my aunt for a short period of time. And I moved out on him actually and moved up north because my aunt was really hard to live with. And so he ended up moving out because he didn't want to live at my aunt's house before me. He didn't want to live at my aunt's house without me, so he then moved out. So my aunt loved him so much, she just let him move in. And so, so we've been friends for a long time, and he's moved out to California, he's moved to Virginia. He's always tried his best to really keep in contact with me. We'll lose contact for a couple years or whatever, and then we'll get in contact again. He's had a girlfriend who was really jealous of our friendship and wrote to me saying she was him and didn't want to be my friend anymore because he had a girlfriend who was moving out with his life and this and that. And then he got a hold of me a while after that and was like, oh, that totally wasn't me. So that was crazy. But that was back in like 2002 or something like that. So it was a long time ago. But we've always kept contact, and I haven't talked to him in a while, so it was kind of weird he was in my dream. But in the dream he had mentioned something about, about the, like, have you ever thought, he was like, have you ever thought about what would have been if we ever dated? And I was like, yeah, I've thought about that, like, it's my dream. I don't know. But in real life, he doesn't know Jesus. So he was like one of them people that God's always allowed for me to keep a great friendship with, but always kept him at an arm's distance because, he's really funny and he's fun to be around. He can make anybody laugh, but it can be very inappropriate. And I don't know, it's like the Lord allows me to be friends with them, but only really at an arm's distance because he doesn't know God and he doesn't take anything serious. So in real life, no, I'm not. That's never been, I always knew that ever since I've known Jesus, that would never be a thing. So, we've just always have been friends. But, so yeah, I don't know. And then he was talking about moving to Michigan. And so anyways, it doesn't really have anything to, it's weird that he was there, but I looked up some meanings from things. So let me just go on and share with you guys some of what I got, because I feel like I'm babbling about my dream and, going off in tangents. Okay, so I was looking up the Ararat Mountain because I wanted to know if there was a correlation between Ararat Mountain and Moses, because I know Noah's Ark rested on Ararat Mountain. So I didn't know the correlation. So if anybody knows anything about that, and even when I Googled it, it was just pulling up Mount Sinai for Moses and stuff like that. So, but I do know that Ararat Mountain is a volcano that has been, what's that called, where it hasn't went off for a long time. So I do know that it is a volcano. In my dream, it didn't seem like it was volcanic activity. It seemed like there was bombing going on. It seemed like it was being bombed, so it seemed like an attack. So even if it was a volcano, in my dream, I just knew it was an attack. I knew it wasn't a volcano. So it was just something I knew. I wrote down the cell phone thing. And I do know that Bill's name means helmet and protection. So I didn't know. There's been some dreams, I guess, I had. I'll tell you about that in a second. And then he said, I asked him how long he was going to be there, and he said 2. And I know 2 means union, or it can also mean separation or division. But 2 also, I know 2 or 3 witnesses. So there's what I have for that. I wrote down, I think I wrote it in my other book. I had a dream yesterday, I think it was yesterday, about my friend Veronica. And I remember that dream still as well. And I messaged her and told her she was in my dream, but I knew the dream wasn't for her, I knew it was for me. I don't even know if I wrote down that dream. I don't even know if I have to write down that dream. I didn't have to write it down because I remembered it. Me and Veronica were both pregnant, and I had said something to her about, I haven't even thought about names yet, had you? And she was like, yes, like, as a matter of fact, yes. And I knew that she was on her 8th child, but I don't know what I was on that wasn't really brought to my memory. And so I know, I don't know Veronica's name, and I've shared a dream with you guys before about Veronica's name, because the name Veronica was in my dream before, and so I looked it up. Hang on, let me look it up again. Okay, so she who brings victory. So, and then new beginning. So that's what I pulled from the dream the other day. I know there's pregnancy. I know she was on her 8th pregnancy. In real life, she's not. She has 5 boys. I think she did lose 1 child, as far as I'm aware. But so she lost 1 baby in the womb. But she has 5 children altogether. She has 5 boys. But she was on her 8th. So that's why it. And because I remembered it so clearly when I woke up. And I know people were like, oh, sometimes when you eat things before you go to bed, you can dream. And I was thinking about that too. And I'm like, the thing is when I have dreams that are very detailed, my dreams are always in the morning. So my dreams are always like that before I wake up out of bed. So I have my dreams normally about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I know it has nothing to do with food. But So these are some of the dreams that I have had lately. If anybody has anything to add to them or whatever, please feel free to comment in the description. If anybody needs prayer, please feel free to put any prayer requests down in the description, or you can email me. I'll put my email in the box. I also have a Waiting on Jesus Facebook profile or Facebook page. If you just need a little encouragement while you're waiting on Jesus, I post things that the Lord leads me to, whether it be Bible studies or just dreams that people have. I post them over there and I share them. So if you need a little bit of encouragement while we're waiting on the Lord, feel free to go over to Waiting on Jesus Facebook page and watch any of those videos. I also was spending time with the Lord today. I just feel like I really needed to hear from the Lord. I asked him some questions when I was in the tub. I wanted to know a little bit more about heaven. I know that there's two different places of heaven. There's a third heaven, and I know there's paradise. And so, and I know there's different parts to heaven. I know that there's heaven, which is in the sky, and then there's a second heaven, which is in space, and then there's a third heaven. And the third heaven is where the mansions are. And then there's also paradise, which is in heaven, and that is another place. And so I was asking the Lord, I had questions, and I'm not going to share that. I'm just going to kind of get you guys prepared because I'm going to be doing a video. I'm going to get ready and do all my research about that while my kids are sleeping. And I will be probably just making a video on, so if you're interested in knowing more about heaven, I will share what the Lord spoke to me about, and I'm going to go through and on his leading, dig up scripture, because of course, he never tells you anything without backing it up with scripture, right? Okay, so if the Lord's been speaking to you about heaven and you need confirmation, look for that video because he's definitely speaking to me about the different parts of heaven. All right, God bless you all. If you need prayer, like I said, let me know. If not, I will see you soon in another video about heaven. See you soon.